Are we really trying to do this once again with this a terrible, atrocious movie that is obviously flopping? But here you have disgusting film once again running with the whole, hey, look at guys, the big opening weekend, and then the budget was this. Oh, look at that. It could be on track to make back its budget. Didn't we just recently have this narrative eviscerated, especially with Superman leaving the theaters in disgrace? And even though, myself included, many commentators have come to the conclusion that, yeah, that film flopped, it wasn't going to be making its money back. But it wasn't until Forbes came out and went, hey guys, you know that Superman movie, yeah, it's going to end up losing like $40 million in its theatrical run. It's like, yeah, we've known for a long time. It had a promising opening weekend, and then yeah, the international numbers didn't pan out, and it didn't end up having that big boost for a good for a positive word of mouth about, you know, just a really fun and entertaining movie. And in fact, the future of James Gunn's DCU is looking even more shaky, even quicker than anybody could have thought. But we'll talk about that with the third video of the day, because we got to talk about Tron Ares opening up to $60.5 million worldwide. Ew. And in fact, we have the actuals now, because I'm recording this late Monday, and no, it didn't even make $60 million, or 60.5 with their what the original reports were. But yeah, 59.9. That's yeah, that's pretty AIDS, okay? And you take a look at the quote-unquote reported budget, which I'm sure, because I'm not entirely sure where this one was shot. I know that it's been in development hell for years, but they want to claim $180 million. This is Disney, after all. They're just gonna like, they lie as often as they open their mouth, or as Hassan Piker streams. But by the time that you hear this and we do this post-mortem on the box office, you've probably already heard the scuttle about this film. It's ass. It doesn't even feature Tron, and it's yet another in a long list of Jared Leto-led bombs. But it's also interesting in so much as the Access Media doesn't want to just simply say, oh yeah, it failed because it's bad. No. They want to blame literally everything else, which is just like, when we're dealing with the box office, rather, 2025 in general, that has been so incredibly underperforming. You have one film that barely cracked $1 billion. Of course, you have to wait until Avatar and potentially Zootopia 2, who knows? And especially the way that things are tracking right now, I would be shocked one way or another if that film does do $1 billion or if it doesn't. But Avatar 3, I think the real conversation there is it going to get to $2 billion? Probably. But that comes out with like 2 weeks left in the year, so is that even really going to count towards 2025? But yes, this is your entire business, assessing and analyzing the entertainment industry, and you can't come to a conclusion that at this point in time it really is a skill issue. The fact that the films, that even the successful ones on the year, your Lilo and Stitches, your Minecraft movie, these are bad films that have zero cultural impact. Even all the memes that bolstered Minecraft back in May to $950 million, you could also argue that all of those memes bringing chickens into the theater, trashing the place, probably prevented it from being a $1 billion film. Why did Superman underperform? Because it was a bad movie. Why did all 3 major Marvel films flop? Why did every single Marvel project that came out this year? Remember, guys, quality over quantity. All right, that's because quality left the building years ago, but you don't want to reconcile with that. You just simply want to blame everything else. And this time around, I mean, like, this is just, it's especially pathetic. If it wasn't for Hassan right now coping and seething about shocking his dog, this would be some of the most pathetic cope we're likely to see. But Disney's long-awaited Tron Ares, is it really long-awaited? But anyways, has officially crashed on entry, yes, to the weekend box office. Despite heavy promotion and years of anticipation, the sci-fi sequel opened to just $33.5 million domestically and $60.5 million worldwide. Well, yeah, now that we have the actuals, I mean, $33 million domestically, 26 internationally. Fucking oof. For a film carrying a reported $180 million budget, yes, with some outlets claiming it actually reached as high as over $200 million. And yeah, with the amount of delays and changes that have been made, I wouldn't be shocked, yeah, if we're not dealing with another underreported, overinflated budget. Once again, those numbers are alarming. Early estimates projected, yes, an opening between $80 and $90 million in the United States. Oof, that was just supposed to be the domestic bucks. Well, it fell a little bit short of that, meaning the film missed its margin. It's marked by a wide margin. Yeah. Ares' box office debut illustrates an uncomfortable reality for Disney. Visual spectacle and nostalgia can't save a story that fails to resonate. Because it's interesting, right? Because the more that you really think about it, like Disney milking its legacy sequels, a pattern that they have been very much entrenched in over the past decade and change, really kind of started with Tron Legacy. But even if you run back the box office numbers on that, it wasn't wildly successful. It's going to be far more successful than Tron Ares. Like, let's not get that twisted. And I think Legacy made over $400 million. This thing isn't even going to sniff anywhere close to that because it's going to fall off a cliff here. Because word of mouth about it, it's just like, it's terrible. The performances are bad. The plot makes no sense. You spend like 10 minutes in the grid, and other than being named Tron, there's nothing Tron about this. But yes, it's been nearly 15 years since Tron Legacy hit theaters in 2010, which is wild, right? Because OG Tron came out in 1982. So yeah, it was even weird to have, Tron Legacy back in 2010, but that was at a box office climate where, oh cool, you're bringing back these IPs. That's a new and interesting. We kind of like that idea. And yeah, 15 years on, it's like, oh god, who else are they going to pillage? Whose other corpse are they going to exhume? Yes, and audiences moved on. That film debuted with $44 million domestically and ultimately earned over $400 million worldwide. There it is. Yes, by comparison, Ares started out 25% lower with ticket prices higher today. That gap is even more significant in terms of real butts and seats. Yes, real tickets sold. The original Tron in '82 was groundbreaking for its time, pioneering computer animation and becoming a cult favorite. But Tron Ares, yes, feels like a digital echo, visually stunning yet emotionally hollow. But hey guys, Nine Inch Nails did the soundtrack, and it's great, but honestly, that's not going to stand the test of time the same way that Daft Punk with Legacy very obviously has. But Games Radar described the movie as stunning but vapid, accusing it of relying on nostalgia rather than delivering meaningful storytelling or character depth. Yeah, exactly. And the bloom is very much off that rose as a storytelling mechanic. But yes, a Deadline, I mean, like, we got the article pulled up because I had to see it to believe it on this one, because they kept on doing the running update over the weekend. So yes, Tron Ares box office grid dims to $33 million opening, and their Sunday update is like, this is hilarious, with an MLB playoff game between the Blue Jays and the Seattle Mariners, which honestly, as a Canadian and a lifelong Jays fan, even though it's been a really long time since I've actually watched a Jays game, but yeah, growing up, it's some of my they're my quintessential memories. But anyways, yeah, you got the ALCS playing in the afternoon, 12 NFL games. When have you ever seen this cope for a movie before? Interesting, but not the worst. Because running in on Saturday, the long-term lasting impact of COVID. Are you fucking kidding me? Thwarting moviegoers is easily felt this weekend as two movies. One, a $180 million sci-fi franchise reboot in Tron Ares, and the other, a star-studded caper with a hunky leading man, Roofman. I've never heard of Roofman before. I still don't know what the fuck Roofman is, but blaming Deadline floating the idea of lingering COVID-era audience behavior might have affected the turnout. Yes, but that doesn't hold much water for Spider-Man No Way Home, Top Gun Maverick, Deadpool and Wolverine, Inside Out 2, Lilo and Stitch, the Minecraft movie, Superman, Fantastic Four. Where was this excuse for when Captain Black Falcon America Man flopped in February, or the Thunderbolts, which was so great but just nobody wanted to go? Why is it Tron? Why is it Tron that needs to run the cope with COVID? Why can't you just simply admit the quality of these movies coming out is fucking dog shit? The most likely scenario involves, yes, a muddled marketing message and a weak hook with an incredibly divisive star in Jared Leto, who has far more misses than hits in the last few years. Yeah, honestly, he is one actor whenever I see him attached to a project that I'm like, no thanks, I'm good. But yes, reporting on another Disney flop, it's another day that ends in Y. 2025 has been atrocious for the House of Mouse, rather, and if it wasn't for their Fox acquisition, they wouldn't have anything to tout in 2025. Predator Badlands might do something at the box office. I still anticipate that one doing a faceplant. I think that comes out in the next couple of weeks. And then, of course, yeah, you got Avatar 3 coming out at the end of the year. That might end up saving them a little bit. But when you go, 1 for 10 on the year, Lilo and Stitch and nothing else, you have to go back to the drawing board. And if you're being an open, honest, and fair press, you have to really start to dig into this stuff. And to be completely honest, analyzing the modern box office, you don't really have to exhume to the core of the earth to figure out why people aren't going to the theaters. They will. For a film that has good word of mouth, they will turn out for good movies. And the fact that Morbius is even performing better than Tron Ares says more than this vapid film ever could. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.